Well, once again, it is time for Bet Online to go off-road racing. Erik Apple hanging out with the man, Matt Martelli from Unlimited Racing. They have merged once again with Best in the Desert. We talked about this before, and they are working together to put on one of the biggest, most famous races in the world, the Mint 400. Matt, what do we have in store?
This is going to be a big race. I mean, we just hit 460 entries. So, I mean, this is twice as big as any off-road race really in the world, right? Let alone North America. So it's going to be a wild year. And we've got stacked fields pretty much in every significant class, right? Starting with the unlimited trucks, right? So it's going to be wild. And, you know, one of the things I love about this is I honestly have no idea who's going to win.
That's awesome. Now, we already have a couple sets of odds, couple lines up early this time. These are ones we like to have fun with. We have the unlimited class, which everyone wants to talk about first. Those are the big bad trucks. We have unlimited four-wheel drive versus unlimited two-wheel drive versus the spec trucks, which for those out there who don't know, that's a crate motor, so they're not spending $100,000 on a NASCAR motor like a lot of these other guys. Now, so far, no unlimited four-wheel drive truck has won the Mint 400. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. There's only a couple of races that a four-wheel drive truck has never won, and the Mint is definitely one of them. And a lot of people attribute that to how rough this course is.
Can you? Yeah, I was about to ask. So explain to people why a rough course would slow down what would normally be a faster all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive truck.
The two-wheel drives have a little bit more wheel travel in them, and so that allows them to get through the rougher stuff quicker. But man, the new four-wheel drives they're amazing machines. They continue to evolve, but we're right now we're in the middle of that evolution. It's happening in real time. So this is one of the races that a four-wheel drive's never won. It's always been two-wheel drives.
That's cool. So we still have pretty heavily favored the four-wheel drive truck versus the two-wheel drive, and the spec truck is a pretty long shot. But we've had spec trucks come real close to winning big races before, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle Jurgensen finished second overall in a spec truck. And just to explain to everybody, a spec truck has half the horsepower of an unlimited truck. So it's right at about 525 horsepower, where a unlimited truck is over 1,000.
That's insane. It's insane to think that's even possible at all. Let's move on to the next one. This is a big one. Jimmie Johnson is going to be racing with Troy Herbst. I'm assuming in one of the Herbst race cars. A lot of people know Jimmie Johnson from NASCAR, of course, but you and I know Jimmie Johnson comes from El Cajon, Santee area, and he's from an off-road racing family.
Yeah, it's really cool to have Jimmie racing with us and really returning to his roots of off-road racing. And the Mint 400 in particular is very special. He's really excited, and yes, he's racing in a 19 Industries, Herbst, Toyota, Carvana, all the other sponsors as well, BF Goodrich, unlimited truck. So, you know, he's new, but he's not new, and he's in a very capable machine, and he's going to be racing the first two laps, and Troy Herbst will be finishing the last two laps. So they're coming. You know, it's not going to be a cruise in the park by any means. So I know he expects to do well, but the pressure's on to see if he'll actually end up in a top five.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jimmie Johnson has won a bunch of races in an unlimited truck in the past. I think he's been a champion in the past as well, correct?
Yeah, definitely. But those trucks of that era were very different than what we have now, right?
I was just going to say, I mean, how much different could it be in one of these all-wheel drive trucks with all the electronics, the GPS? I mean, the last time that he probably raced, his co-driver probably had a map in his hand.
Yeah, that's probably likely. I mean, the evolution from his era to where we're at now has just been gnarly, right? So I know he's done a couple of tests in the truck, and he's really excited about racing the vehicle.
Okay, and that one we have pretty much we have a line that will they make it the top five or not? It's pretty even, yes and no. So that's right about the cutoff we're thinking. Last but not least, as far as our early betting lines, this is another massive one, and this is such a big one for off-road racing these days, is the UTV races. We have Can-Am versus Polaris. Talk about that.
Yeah, this one's really exciting, actually, because Both of them have factory teams and factory representatives, and both of them have been winning in different styles of races. Well, the Mint kind of brings it all together. And one big difference is that we qualify all the UTVs. So, when you have a fast guy and he has 20 or 30 cars that he's got to get around, it's really difficult for him to win. But in this particular case, you have the factory Polaris team on one side and the factory Can-Am racers on another side, both with extremely fast guys. Phil Blurton just won Parker in a very dominant fashion, showed how fast him and his vehicle are coming into this race. But, you have a guy named Brock Heger right now he's won the Mint last year, and he's won pretty much every other UTV race on the planet, including the Ball 1000, Dakar, on and on, right? And he has a pretty dialed-in machine, and he's very, very good on this particular course. Last year, he set a real record-breaking pace. So, again, the field's stacked. Anything could happen here.
Talk about just with the upswing in race participation because of this UTV class and the UTV manufacturers. I don't know if I want to use the word revitalized, but they've brought a lot of life into our sport.
Sure. No, it's really cool. I mean, UTVs have really brought a lot to off-road racing in terms of, regular guys having the ability to go buy a car at a dealership, put some safety equipment on it, and come racing with us. So it's our biggest class by a landslide, 160 entries, right?
Wow.
In total in all the UTV classes. In the pro class, we're at like 51 entries, right? So it's a really stacked field. And it's been really exciting over the last few years to bring in a whole new group of people who didn't grow up doing this and really weren't from necessarily our neck of the woods. So it's opened up off-road racing to a lot of people.
And it's just a lower, barrier to entry, right? I mean, for around $125,000, you can have a pretty well-built, badass UTV, right?
Yeah, in fact, Polaris sells a race-ready factory vehicle for about $150,000, and
Wow.
the thing is amazing, right?
That's awesome.
The Can-Am, also an amazing platform. Phil Blurton, again, he's been a front runner in UTV racing with Can-Am. So, but there's also a lot of guys here on the Can-Am side that could win as well as the Polaris side. So, very achievable form of racing financially.
And are we going to see, speaking of UTVs, are we going to see Bet Online athlete Cowboy Cerrone back in the mid 400 this year?
Oh, definitely. Both him and his son.
That's right.
He's really pumped because his son got a second place in Parker.
That's right.
So that got Cowboy super fired up, and he's doing better and better. Cowboy is doing better and better, getting closer and close to that podium. So this is where he got introduced to off-road racing with us, and so it's an important one for him to either get a win or a podium at.
That's so cool to see Cowboy, transfer from one sport to another. As somebody myself who's taken part in a lot of different sports, it's really cool. It makes it really fun to kind of spread out your love and spread out your interests and not just be so pigeonholed. So we want the best for Cowboy and his son. And last but not least, how has it been working with Best in the Desert? I imagine it's been a great partnership, and you guys, like you said, you have over 400 entries. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been really good. Honestly, Parker was bigger than it's been in over a decade, and I think that's largely due to the partnership or the merger. And going into the Mint, it's the same. It's everybody who's anybody is coming to race with us. This is the race to win this year. I mean, when you look at the different classes and how stacked they are, this is really the race that matters for the entire year. So it's going to be a big one. We'll probably gain another dozen or so entries by the time race week comes around next week, but it's going to be really exciting nonetheless.
So everybody stand by, because pretty soon we're going to put together the entry list. We'll have betting odds for a couple classes out, and I'll be out there with the promo girls on Fremont, having people scan the QR code. We'll be doing Bet Online giveaways so people can bet on themselves in the race, and I'll even stop by again for the broadcast for a few minutes like last time, if you'll still have me, Matt.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks for checking us out. Remember the Mint 400. Check them out on Instagram. I believe it's the mint400.com. Unlimited off-road racing, best in the desert. Matt Martelli, you're the man, and we'll see you when we go racing.